The Boston Celtics have concluded an unspectacular season where they were expected to accomplish so much more. The main storyline for them is where Kyrie Irving will sign in the summer of 2019. As you guys know, he's going to forego his player option and become an unrestricted free agent, so he's free to sign wherever he chooses, as long as the team has enough cap space to sign him. In this video, we're going to take a look at the 6 potential destinations of Kyrie Irving. This video is sponsored by Ridge Wallets. The Ridge Wallet is a minimal, front pocket wallet that's designed to let you ditch your bulky wallet. This wallet is slim, RFID blocking, and lifetime guaranteed. It comes in titanium, carbon fiber, aluminum, polycarbonate, and with over a dozen different styles and colors. Get 10% off today with free worldwide shipping by going to ridgewallet.com/Andy. Alright, so let's get started. Number 6, the New York Knicks. I've heard some guys put the Knicks as a prime destination for Kyrie, and even myself too. I thought the Knicks would be a great destination. But at the 2019 trade deadline, they ended up trading Porzingis for a package surrounding Dennis Smith Jr. With a bunch of expiring contracts, the Knicks are expected to have over $70 million in cap space. However, when you think about it, why would Kyrie want to come to the Knicks? And why would the Knicks want to sign Kyrie? They traded for Dennis Smith hoping he could develop into a star. So getting Kyrie is kinda counterintuitive. It's not like getting him would all of a sudden turn them into a contender. Far from it. The good news is that $70 million is almost enough for 2 max contracts, and the Knicks could pull some strings to sign 2 superstars in free agency. Obviously, Kevin Durant is another name that comes up often, and that's literally the only reason why the Knicks are a potential destination for both of them. Ridiculous amount of cap space, and because, well, it's New York City, the biggest market in the world. But we say this every time a star player is a free agent, and the Knicks usually end up with nothing. The last time they signed a superstar free agent was back in 2010 when they got Amari Stoudemire. It's been a long time, and there's been a lot of criticism towards the Knicks over the last 2 decades too, with bad signings, bad trades, and terrible management in the front office. So I'm not sure why Kyrie would sign there. And even if they did, you could look at it as another bad signing, because they would sacrifice the development of their young players to cater to Kyrie. And if Kyrie is the only guy who goes there, they'll barely be a playoff team, if that. Number 5, the New Orleans Pelicans. While the Pelicans won't have a huge amount of cap space next season, projected to be around $14 million, they have the option to do a sign and trade. The problem is, it's hard to pull off, and the most likely scenario would have to send Drew Holiday to Boston. I'm not sure how Pelicans fans feel about Kyrie, considering that Drew just had an amazing season. While Kyrie, on the other hand, he's younger, but he's essentially been the same player in the last 3 or 4 years. Boston would love to have Drew though, a defensive-minded point guard who can play off the ball and is totally fine giving up shots to set up his teammates. So the question is, why would New Orleans do this sign and trade? Well, it could be an incentive to get Anthony Davis to stay there. If they somehow manage to pull off a sign and trade and secure Kyrie on a 4-year contract, maybe Davis would reconsider leaving. Number 4, the Los Angeles Clippers. This is an interesting one. Over the last few years, ever since Jerry West joined the organization, the Clippers have been making a lot of moves. Trading away Blake Griffin and Chris Paul, replacing them with young players on valuable contracts, and setting themselves up to make a big splash in free agency. That time is about to come. They've been waiting years for 2019 to have a chance at getting guys like Kyrie, or Kevin Durant, or Kawhi Leonard. Besides Toronto, it's been speculated that Kawhi's preferred destination is the Clippers. They have over $60 million in cap space, but if they find a way to dump Gallinari's contract, they would have over $80 million in cap space. That's enough to sign 2 max contract players straight up, without any further negotiations. Considering that the Clippers traded away Tobias Harris mid-season, they must be confident that they could get at least somebody in free agency. Number 3, the Los Angeles Lakers. Apparently, Kyrie and LeBron reconciled and they want to play with each other again. According to Mark Stein of ESPN, he claimed that players around the league have watched all month as Kyrie and LeBron have seemingly lobbed Valentines back and forth to each other about how much they miss each other. And recently, Brian Windhorst reported that Kyrie and LeBron were on good terms and are considering teaming up again. That's basically the extent of how possible this scenario is. That's all we have to go off of. But if you look at how the Lakers set themselves up, it makes sense. The reason why they had so many players with just 1 year left on their contracts, like Rondo, Stevenson, and KCP, is because they wanted to get ready for 2019 free agency. Kyrie, of course, is one of the major players available. Additionally, the Lakers previously failed in their trade negotiations with the Pelicans to get Anthony Davis. If they managed to get Kyrie, they could renegotiate the Davis deal and consider trading away Lonzo, Kuzma, Ingram, and a couple of picks. Maybe a similar deal that they rejected a few months ago. This would create a new super team in Los Angeles with LeBron, Kyrie, and AD. It's a long shot considering that Kyrie still seemed like he wanted his own team, and playing with LeBron and Davis would make him the third option on that team. But it does seem like an enticing situation for all players involved, especially since we don't know what's going to happen to the Warriors in free agency. This could be the Lakers' chance. Number 2, the Brooklyn Nets. Just like the Knicks, the Nets will have a massive amount of cap space, over $50 million. But unlike the Knicks, the Nets have proven to be the more stable organization. The problem is, they have a lot of key players who are going to be free agents, and the team will have to make some tough decisions, specifically D'Angelo Russell and Rondae Hollis-Jefferson. They will both be restricted free agents, so the Nets can keep them if they want to, and go over the cap to re-sign them due to having their bird rights. This means Irving could easily sign with them too, but I'm assuming they would keep D'Angelo Russell, right? So would a starting backcourt of Kyrie and Russell work? Or maybe they would let Russell walk and just replace him with Kyrie, which doesn't seem like a good idea since he just had an all-star season. But according to Vegas, the Nets have the best chance to land Kyrie. I'm not sure why, but usually when it comes to free agency predictions, Vegas does a pretty good job since they do have inside sources. That's the only reason why I have the Nets as one of the favorites to get him. Logistically, it doesn't make too much sense since the Nets rebuild has been going better than expected. Throwing a max at a point guard who I'm not sure they even need, I don't think it's a great move. Number 1, the Boston Celtics. Despite all the rumors we've heard, I think he might just stay in Boston. The Celtics are technically over the salary cap, but because they received Kyrie's bird rights in the trade from Cleveland, they can go over the cap to re-sign him and pay him however much he wants. They're the only team that can offer him a true max contract of 5 years. And according to Chris Mannix, the Celtics are prepared to offer him just that. You know, after that piss-poor performance against the Bucks in the playoffs, and the stuff he said throughout the season, like when he said that they had a bunch of young guys who feel they're capable of doing a lot more than they're doing, Kyrie made a bunch of pretentious remarks about his teammates throughout the season, which I'm sure they know about. With that being said, according to Kevin O'Connor, he speculated that Kyrie's decision will be based on what Kevin Durant does, and if Kevin Durant joins a certain team, Kyrie may follow him. But it's also likely that Kyrie could still stay in Boston regardless. And if you think about it, playing in Boston is what Kyrie wanted to do in the first place. He wanted to leave Cleveland to run his own team, and now he has the chance to do that. Because even though he was pretty bad in the playoffs, he's still the best, most talented player on the team. He also likes playing for Coach Stevens, who might be the saving grace in keeping Kyrie in Boston. It's been going back and forth all year, but if the Celtics truly do want to keep him, then Kyrie would most likely stay. And those were the 6 teams who I think are the most likely destinations for Kyrie Irving. The thing that a lot of these teams have in common is that they all have plenty of cap space, and it's clear that they've been waiting for 2019 free agency to make a big splash. There's gonna be a ton of great free agents, it's actually insane. I'm gonna be making a video soon on my predictions for the 2019 free agent class, and if they're gonna stay or leave. Like, look at this list. Kevin Durant, Kawhi, Kyrie, Kemba, Klay, Jimmy Butler, D'Angelo Russell, Tobias, Porzingis, Chris Middleton, Nikola Vucevic, DeMarcus Cousins. A lot of these guys have player options, but most of them will decline them. So it's gonna be an insane summer. Anyway, that's all folks. Let me know your thoughts on Kyrie's situation. Despite his playoff struggles, I still think he's gonna stay in Boston. Where do you think he'll end up? Let me know in the comments. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you next time. Peace.